After the last video about layoffs, I wanted to shift the focus to something that brings people a sense of stability, peace, and even a little self-reliance. One thing that keeps coming up in conversations online is gardening. So today, I'm sharing clips from TikTok creators who talk about the benefits of gardening, how to get started, and why growing even a small amount of your own food can make a real difference. Whether you're dealing with stress, trying to save money, or just looking for something grounding, these creators have some great insight. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about the health benefits of community gardening. The research paper says it all. Pretty much says that people that participated in community gardens had longer lifespans and had a higher quality of life. One experiment, they had half of the people randomly do an assigned community garden task and the other read a book. Guess what? The ones that read a book had higher cortisol, which means stress, than the ones that went outside. Community gardens can help so many people. Not only giving them the physical nutrients and nourishment, also provide them with mental and spiritual nourishment, connecting to an inherent part of our being. I want to help grow 100 gardens around the world so that more people can experience the benefits. So follow if you want to join the journey, because I'm probably going to need help.
Reasons you should start a garden, part 1. You're growing your own food, so you know where it's coming from. You're not spraying it with pesticides, or at least I hope not. You know, it has a lot more flavor. You grow your own food, the flavor hits way more different than buying it at the grocery store. Imagine growing everything. You grow peanuts, source of protein, legumes. You grow your fruits, your vegetables, tomatoes, apples, pears, peaches. You won't become dependent on grocery stores anymore. You'll save a lot more money, and it's healthier for you. It's healthier for you. You got diabetes, for example. Longevity spinach helps regulate blood sugar. Health is wealth. Remember that. Knowledge is power. Grow your own food. You know what you'll be eating. Food is the world's natural medicine. Remember that. What you grow and what you eat, what you put in your body is fuel. And let's be honest, there's nothing better than picking your own fruit that you put your hard labor, your hard work into. Nothing better than that feeling. Eating from your own crops. Rumor has it, these mainstream grocery stores put butt cheek juice in your produce.
If you don't want to grow your own food, scroll up. Now we got them up out of here. If you want to grow your own food, my people, it's almost size season. Now I'm about to give you 5 pieces of advice that I wish I knew when I started gardening. First thing first, grow what you eat. Now when I started, I grew everything from tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, to carrots, to onions. Everything that they had in the store, I purchased. I was so excited. I was just getting everything I could. I don't even eat radishes. Man, what I'm growing radishes for? Before you make the mistake like I did, make sure you eat the things that you want to grow so you don't waste space. All right, the second tip I got for you, succession plan. That just means you want to keep it in rotation. Let me break it down a little more. If I know I like to eat cucumbers all year, then I'm going to grow me some cucumbers today. And then about a month down the line, I'm going to plant me some more cucumbers in that same place right behind them. So that way, when I harvest these cucumbers, I still got new cucumbers on the way. Keep the re-up coming. Yeah. See, I want y'all to be just as excited as I am. But we're going to do it right. Just a little plan. Tip number 3. How am I going to store these things? The number one way to store a lot of these vegetables that you're growing is learning how to can. I'll teach you how to do that too, but think about it. How am I going to store everything that I'm growing? I don't want nothing to go to waste. Am I going to pickle some of these cucumbers? Am I going to take all these tomatoes and make my own pasta sauce? Do I want to make some barbecue sauce? I'm going to make me some barbecue sauce this year. Now see me, I'm trying to grow everything I can, so I know I'm going to have an overflow. What I'm going to do is, these last 2 right here going to help us all out. The 4th piece of advice I want to give you is location. Move, Coco. Always in the way. So location is very important because you want to be able to say, where do I get the most sunlight at? Where do I want to plant the items that don't need as much sunlight as my tomatoes may need? Before you just start throwing stuff everywhere in your yard, understand where you want to put what, and you're going to be real successful. God dang. So many people have reached out to me and said, but what I'm going to do about the deers? The squirrels love eating all my crops. What you do about this? I can't grow nothing. So this last tip, probably should have been number 1. Companion planting. The hell does that mean? I'm about to put you down. If I know cabbage worms like to eat all my cabbage before I get to it, what don't cabbage worms like? A lot of different herbs are not just good for teas. They're also good because they have a strong smell that a lot of pests hate. So if you want to deter pests from your garden, look up what herbs do this pest not like. You want to partner up your plants with some sort of defense from all these pests that may be eating your crop before you even get to see it grow. The number one thing I love to research is what grows good next to onions or what grows good next to potatoes. See, everything can't just grow together. You want to understand what grows good in the same pot as this other vegetable if you want to be successful. Those are 5 tips. We growing. My people, our season is almost here.
There's more and more studies coming out there that talk about the health benefits of gardening.
Okay.
And in fact, there's some studies that say that the act of gardening can help reduce depression, reduce anxiety, improve life satisfaction, and also a sense of community. So if you like gardening, go for it. It's good for us.
It's good for
3 reasons why you should start an organic garden. Reason number 1, the pollinators. When you organic garden, you create a nice balanced ecosystem for the pollinators, which helps you have higher yields because they pollinate your plants more. Reason number 2, for your soul. Witnessing a balanced ecosystem is truly so rewarding. Watching how the bugs and the animals interact with each other, it's truly, honestly, so worth it. Reason number 3, so you and your family are not eating pesticides. Why would you have your own garden and then put poison on it? It sounds kind of like it would be counterproductive, right? By creating a balanced ecosystem, you allow yourself to have more fruit and vegetables, a balanced ecosystem, and you don't have to eat poison. It's truly so amazing. Not to mention, it's super fun going outside and having huge harvests like this and making a garden to table dinner for your family. It's truly so rewarding. So start an organic garden now.
All right, quick crash course on starting a garden for the absolute beginner. Really? First thing on the list is getting a garden bed, or you can do pots and smaller beds. And then your options for plants are either going to be seeds or plants that have already been started and established at a nursery, garden, or a hardware store. I would skip seeds if you are a beginner gardener, and I would just start with an already established plant just to learn the basics. Most commonly grown plants are things like tomatoes and peppers. Those are very easy, very hard to mess up, so I'd recommend starting with those. I recommend easy plants because everything is different. Like this pumpkin, for example, is going to require some education on pollination. These little seedlings for cabbage and kale are going to require a lot of knowledge on pests because they attract pests like crazy. You'll do the thing, you dig a hole, you'll plop this in, put a nice little mountain around it, water it once a day. For the tomatoes, you might want to get a cage or a stake because they're going to get about 4 to 5 feet tall. Speaking of which, the biggest mistake I see on TikTok is people planting things too close together. These plants are going to get very, very big. You're going to want to give them lots and lots of space, more than that. When in doubt, there's usually always directions on the back of the packet or the back of the little tag that tells you everything that you really need to know. If you want to start something from seed, I think snap peas and beans are usually pretty easy. They usually germinate. You can sow them in the ground or you can sow them indoors ahead of time. Essentially, the secret to gardening is just researching each plant individually because each plant has individual needs. So for example, if you do plant snap peas, they're going to need something to climb like this trellis here. So I can kind of weave them all the way up and they will literally get that tall. So all in all, I would stick with some easy plants that are already developed. All you have to do is literally just put them in some dirt and water them, and then slowly add in new vegetables and learn as you go.
Hey, I know you've been wondering what's the best soil to use for gardening or something, huh? Best soil you ever gonna use from gardening is whatever came from nature. I mean, if you got a raised garden bed and you're not doing this, you're gonna have to amend your soil every year. If you don't know what amend mean, it means you're gonna have to formally improve or to make better. So let's just say you didn't do what we did and let me show you. Your plant soil ain't got nothing to break down with after a couple months or so. You're gonna have to amend that soil. You like, why he keep saying amend, baby? Because you gotta make it better. I mean, once you know better, you do better. So instead of me having to always feed my plants, I never have to do as such because they already got food breaking down from anywhere from 6 months to a year. And you see how I didn't cut my collard plants and them bees starting to come around? Look at that fruit tree we planted. It's already starting to bud because of them bees. But I'm sorry. I got off track. Let me show you about this soil. So I'm sorry. I was trying to tell you how to start your soil. You like, what you putting inside that bag? You putting a couple sticks or something for that plant food. You like, what else can you put in there? I mean, you could literally put bark, leaves, sticks, whatever literally came from nature, gonna go back to nature.
I believe in gardening's mental health benefits, and here's why. While working away on our devices, we're using what's called directed attention. And after several hours in this state, we start feeling exhausted. But we still get pinged with notifications after the day ends, so we don't switch out of being in directed attention. Which is why we end up feeling stressed and overwhelmed and exhausted by the end of the week. But we step into attention restoration the moment we step into the garden because of 3 reasons. First, we're away from where we use directed attention, so it feels like a mini vacation. Second, our mind is fascinated by everything alive in the garden around us. And lastly, because we're immersed, we can't be responding to emails while we're digging away in the garden. And that's why, after gardening, we feel so peaceful and restored. And so if this resonates with you, comment restoration down below, because I run a mentorship program where I help connect individuals just like you to gardening's mental health benefits, and I'd love to chat with you.
This is how I start a new garden step by step. I bought these 6x3 raised beds. After I put them together, I use cardboard at the bottom of each raised bed. This is going to kill the grass and suppress any weeds from coming through. I bought lots of soil from Home Depot. This is a new brand that I'm trying out, but I've seen a couple good reviews about it. And it's organic and really affordable. We filled each raised bed almost to the top. And then we added 2 to 3 bags of cow manure to each raised bed. And we just spread everything out. This is how it's looking so far. And I'm going to go in and amend the soil. This is everything that I'm going to use to amend this soil. I'm going to start off with perlite. That's going to add drainage to the soil and make it loose and airy. I'm going to add plant tone. This is going to feed the soil. Which is going to feed your plants, and this is a slow release fertilizer. I'm also adding in earthworm castings, and then I'm just going to go through and mix everything up. I love to have a plan for my garden just so that I have room for everything and to kind of get a visual of how everything is going to look laid out. So I'll double check my plan before I laid everything out. I dug a hole and added bone meal before I transplanted my flowers into each hole. Each plant is different, so I always do research on what the plant needs and spacing. I'm going to water the area and mulch later on. Thank you for watching and happy gardening.
Hey, I seen somebody say, can I use topsoil for my raised garden bed? So it'll be a lot of people trying to start a garden like, damn, I don't want to spend that much money on some soil. So let me tell you what you can do. Hey, you know, if you go to your friendly neighborhood Tractor Supply and you go look at the soil, right? So look, if you balling on the budget, my mama always told me, if you're going to be broke, you better be creative. So listen to me, you're going to go to your neighborhood Tractor Supply or Lowe's. You're going to find any busted bag you can see, right? You see how that bag busted? We're going to get that at a discounted price. So since that bag is busted, we're going to find some other bags that's busted, and we just going to put this soil to good use. Now, again, since you balling on the budget, you're going to have to take some other things into consideration, right? So, little baby, let me answer your question. So you said, can you use topsoil in your raised garden bed? The answer is definitely yes. So we're going to get this at a discounted price. It was only $3. We're going to get it cheaper than that. But since you're going to use topsoil in your raised garden bed, it's better to mix it with other soil. Now, how I was just saying, there's other things you got to consider. Just like with topsoil, you got to mix it with other things. So look, you see that bag right here? You see how this says feeds up to 6 months? Technically, we won't even have to feed our plants any nutrients at all. If you want me to keep talking, comment, keep talking to son.
If these clips gave you ideas or inspired you to start growing something of your own, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll keep sharing content that helps you stay informed and find practical ways to move forward. You will also see a video YouTube thinks you will like popping up on your screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.